Browns fall to 2-6 after a loss to the Broncos yesterday. They were 2-5-1 this time last year, and Hugh Jackson was on the way out. What did we miss, Albert, with Cleveland? Why have this as a team with so much hype look so bad early on?
Well, I think that, if you talk to people in the organization over the summer, they were nervous about it. And I think they sort of were what San Francisco was a year ago, where, like the Niners, people would have told you, we've got some good players here, but we don't have the depth and there are still holes in the roster. And that's where Cleveland was, I think, coming into this year. It's easy to forget John Dorsey's only been there for a year and a half. And so, he's really only gone through 2 draft cycles, 2 free agent cycles. And, there was a lot to fix in Cleveland. And, so I think that, it was easy with Jarvis Landry and Odell Beckham and David Njoku and Nick Chubb on the roster. It's very easy to overlook how big an issue the offensive line was. They had 4 Pro Bowl level players leave that position group over the last 4 years. Now it's Matt, Mitchell Schwartz, Kevin Zeitler, and Joe Thomas. And so, the offensive line was a huge issue, and that's an easy thing to look at. And then there are depth issues elsewhere, and that always comes into play in the NFL where, you have a couple injuries. Now all of a sudden a position that was okay isn't okay anymore. And so I think that's a big part of it. And, the other piece, of course, is, where they've been from a discipline standpoint, which I think was going to be a question based on the big personalities in the locker room. Like, how is that mix going to come together? And certainly it hasn't come together the way that they had hoped. And I think one of the things that, one of the issues with it is, Dorsey sort of built the team in Kansas City the same way he has the team in Cleveland. The difference is, in Kansas City, he was handing that roster over to a coach who has 2 decades of NFL experience as a head coach. In Cleveland, he's, giving the roster to a guy who is, in his first go-around. And so I think that's made it more challenging, and obviously discipline issues there, but there are problems with the roster, too.
If you were a gambling man, is Lincoln Riley the head coach of the Browns this time next year?
I don't, and look, I think every team is going to take its swing at Lincoln Riley. Every team that has an opening is at least going to make that phone call. My feeling right now is Lincoln Riley is not going to go to a place that isn't perfect. And I think the one that would just entice him, and it's just because of where he's from, the history of the franchise, is the Cowboys. If Jerry Jones called, I think Lincoln Riley would listen. Outside of that, right now, I don't know that he would view the Cleveland job, as much as he loves Baker Mayfield, as a better situation than he has at Oklahoma. And so I don't think Lincoln Riley's in a mind to leave Oklahoma right now. I think the one that he would listen to would be Dallas. But, in the end, I think he probably views the job that he has right now as better than a lot of NFL jobs.
For more of The Rich Eisen Show, tune to Audience Channel 239 on DirecTV for free on BR Live or download the Rich Eisen Show app.